Hey everybody, it's PartyElite with another online battle today. In this one, I take Bretonnia to the field against LOL 26's Warriors of Chaos. On my side of the field, Leon Kerr is in charge alongside a damsel, 2 paladins, 5 units of men-at-arms with polearms, 5 units of peasant bowmen, and 2 units of Knights of the Realm. A very simple build. I want to hold the line against whatever comes at me, whittle it down as it comes at me, and then charge it from multiple angles after it's come at me. The damsel will hopefully help nullify the enemy, and I'm hoping my characters will be able to quickly take care of enemy characters and large units. In fact, my paladins actually have potions of strength to help do just that. The Warriors of Chaos bring a Chaos Lord in charge, a Chaos Sorcerer of Death, 3 units of Chaos Marauders, 5 units of Forsaken, 2 Feral Manticores, and a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Alright, as always, we're going to start with a conversation about layouts. Now, mine is relatively simple, all things considered. It is Bretonnia, so I don't have that many options. We've got the men-at-arms with polearms forming the front line. Right behind them, squared up, we have the peasant bowmen. Now, I could have actually separated them a little bit. As I've said before, that's always a good idea, but I wasn't quite thinking it in this scenario. Off to the right flank here, I've got my leadership and my characters, the damsel over here in the left, and then, of course, the Knights of the Realm on this flank over here. Now, the Warriors of Chaos have decided to actually deploy a little bit off to the right here, rather than a central deployment, I suppose to avoid this sort of obstacle over there. Now, their deployment is also pretty simple, all things considered. They've got the Forsaken in the middle here. Off to the sides, they've got the Chaos Marauders, possibly for some flanking, I suppose. And then the Air Force back here with the Chaos Lord, the Sorcerer of Death, and the 2 Feral Manticores. And finally, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth back here to charge through and pummel absolutely anything in its way. Very basic deployment from both of us, to be frank, and I decide to move forward first. We have, or rather I have a lot of this sort of Martian swampland around me, and I don't want to get caught off in there, especially with my infantry, so I do push forward right away, and I hope to bait him out. He doesn't have a hell cannon or anything, so it's obvious he's going to be moving. Now, the moment he does start moving, I decide to change my order and pull my units back. I want my my halberds, rather my men-at-arms with polearms, to be up front there, and I don't mind if the peasant bowmen end up a little bit in the swamp here. They are just outside of it, not the end of the world either way. Meanwhile, my characters, I send them forward to chase after the Chaos Lord, scare him off, keep him back there, and then I pull them back, and it's that Shaggoth as well that worries me a little bit. Again, it's all a matter of timing here. I know what the plan is. He wants to dive in there, he wants to drop some leadership debuff and charge in and cause as much damage as possible to morale. So I'm just posturing and preparing myself for that eventuality, and I'm hoping to be able to, keep my leadership intact. As you'll notice, ranking these units up, of course, helped in that regard, keeping their flanks secure, trying to keep Leon Kerr nearby. It's all very helpful. So I just want to make sure I can hold the line here. Now, I've got that line forming up again. A couple shots go off. I didn't actually control that volley, so it wasn't concentrated. You'll notice these paladins are getting hurt a little bit. So I pull them and Leon Kerr off to the side, and then I focus down on this unit of Forsaken. The center is relatively strong here, so I do want to try and get rid of that. Unfortunately, as I move these guys out, these guys are all pushing forward, so that's quite unfortunate for me because they are going to dive in. I try to respond right away, the paladins and Leon Kerr diving in. You'll notice, of course, a spell goes down. I also retarget, change from focusing down on these Forsaken to focusing down on this Feral Manticore. Does a decent amount of damage, slows it down as well, but of course, Doom and Darkness does go down, causing -16 leadership to a bunch of my units. And at the same time, this Air Force is coming in. Unfortunately, the Paladins and Leon Kerr weren't able to intercept in time, so you'll notice right away as the front lines sort of get engaged entirely, that Shaggoth dives right through and into the center, taking out my peasant bowmen. Each of these flying units dives into a separate unit as well, so very effectively done there, I have to say, by my opponent. And you'll notice right away the vast majority of, well, I should say the entirety of my center, both front line and that range line, is giving up. Meanwhile, you'll notice the damsel does drop Curse of the Midnight Wind to, as quickly as possible, nullify the enemy. I don't want these Forsaken getting their hits through. They do still have enough melee attack to get some hits through, but I get that in there as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, these Knights of the Realm pulled off to the side here, are now finally being brought in. I've got these guys trying to take care of these Chaos Marauders before they get too much work done, and these guys trying to come in and support this left flank. And you'll notice, even in slow motion, it's almost instantaneous seeing this entire center just completely collapse. Meanwhile, over here, you'll notice as well, the Sword of Couron does go down. I want to cause as much damage as quickly as possible. My Paladins, pretty soon as well, they will take their Potions of Strength. Meanwhile, over here, the charge does go in, and the Shaggoth decides to actually charge into this situation here, and that was not a good call. So a couple things going on here. The Manticore has given up because, of course, Leon Kur and 2 Paladins, very strong set of units, and especially when the Sword of Quran goes down, and there you have it, the Potion of Strength as well, giving plus 22% weapon damage. So using all my abilities here to try and hold this center despite losing the infantry lines here. Feral Manticore gets the first sort of brunt of it, I suppose, but sending that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth in there was not a good idea. Should have kept the chase here, keep chasing these units out as they leave, making sure they don't come back into it. Meanwhile, over here on the left flank, you'll notice I got that charge in, as I mentioned, and did a decent amount of damage here, and right away, I'm pulling away. Instantaneously pulling away. I want to get cycle charges happening. I need to be very careful about that. Meanwhile, you'll notice, again, Sword of Quran still active there, and I'm trying to just hold all these guys in place. Unfortunately, a Soul Blight goes down on these Knights of the Realm. Not to worry, though. I'm sending them in for a rear charge, and they dive right into this line over here. Do a decent amount of damage there, and pretty soon, again, I'm going to pull them away. Off in the distance there, you'll notice as well, this unit of Chaos Marauders quickly taken care of, and again, I just disengage. I can reassign these guys to something else, and look at that. The Dragon Ogre Shaggoth had, I would say, 80% health, I think, when it dove in here, and only a minute or so has gone by, it feels like, but already it's on its way out. So, very bad call there. Unfortunately, so is Leon Kur. He did get stuck in there, but I needed him in there for every moment he was in there. So, it is unfortunate. I could have used him a lot more later on, but he did the damage he needed to do. Over here, you'll notice again, these Knights of the Realm, I had them dive in here from the rear, and now they're pulling away again, and meanwhile, off in the distance here, my Peasant Bowmen slowly regaining some composure. Over here, these Peasant Bowmen, they did get stuck into this melee situation here, but I'm okay with that. I would rather lose these Peasant Bowmen in this melee scenario than allow these Forsaken to come in from the rear and attack some of my units here. Now, let's go back to full speed, and you'll notice these Knights of the Realm are being pulled into this right flank here, and these Knights of the Realm, very quickly, I'm trying to take care of these guys, trying to cause these guys some hurt as well with Curse of the Midnight Wind. I give the Knights of the Realm Harmonic Convergence, and as they dive in, they're going to do a tremendous amount of damage, and very quickly, you'll notice that right flank is now mine. I have it secured. These Knights of the Realm, meanwhile, are diving in towards this unit of Forsaken that were harassing my Peasant Bowmen. So you'll notice they are sort of pinned in place because of these men-at-arms with polearms. And let's slow it down really quickly again here. As these Knights of the Realm go in for that rear charge, they will very quickly take care of this unit. Meanwhile, you'll notice these Knights of the Realm have already shattered these Marauders here, and over here the Chaos Lord has shattered as well. Meanwhile, Leon Kur still on his way out, but there is a chance of recovery, and of course he can heal himself if he does recover. Back here, as I mentioned, my Peasant Bowmen and my Men-at-Arms with polearms have decided to recover, and as the Forsaken are charging up towards my Peasant Bowmen, I am firing at them with all I've got. I want both of these units to try and scare these guys off, cause as much damage as possible. Meanwhile, over here, these Peasant Bowmen opening fire at these Forsaken as well. Over here, the damsel is almost hit by these Chaos Marauders, but I pull her away into some safety, and you'll notice these Forsaken actually retreat. Bad call there by my opponent. Should have just dove in to either one of these Peasant Bowman units, and honestly, at the end of the day, I think this Forsaken unit was largely Forsaken either way. I could have taken care of them easily, but they could have done some damage. Meanwhile, these Forsaken here are charging into these Men-at-Arms with polearms. That's perfect for me. I might lose these Men-at-Arms, but these Peasant Bowmen will be able to cause a decent amount of hurt. Meanwhile, back at the front, you'll notice these Knights of the Realm now are sort of free to do as they please. Unfortunately, some of these units here are left sort of unoccupied. Then my Peasant Bowman here just trying to get some shots off. It is a very messy front line, of course, but overall it has become my front line. Very close to losing it, but I have turned it around here. Now you'll notice these Men-at-Arms with polearms, they've given up, they are gone, but the Peasant Bowmen are able to get just a handful of shots off. Meanwhile, these Forsaken are routing now, and you'll notice again, big mistake there, the Forsaken, very easy target here, could have just dove into my Peasant Bowmen, but instead opting not to. That allows me to, for one, focus on these guys with these two Peasant Bowmen, and these guys get focused down by these two Peasant Bowmen. Now, of course, as they do have shields, the shots coming in from the front don't do as much damage, but that little bit of trickle damage does make a little bit of difference, and these Peasant Bowmen are able to shoot in from the side, and of course, the shields do not have any effect coming in from the side there. Meanwhile, off in the front again, just trying to cause as much damage as possible. Leon Kur does decide to come back. He hasn't given up, and you'll notice these Chaos Marauders continue to charge up and ultimately shatter, giving me a close victory as the entirety of the Chaos army just shatters, allowing my peasants to live, to pay taxes for another day. well-used attacks on morale can completely destroy your opponent's lines, as what happened to me here. I thought the battle was lost within that first minute, but I was able to hold my ground and recover relatively quickly, responding with rear charges from cavalry, getting Leoncoeur in there, reminding the peasants why they're there to fight. Ranking the men-at-arms as well was very important, just for that extra leadership, which is exactly why I did that. Every touch of morale does a world of difference. Now, as always, for more Total War content, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I've got my online battles, more of them coming along. Of course, there's always Total Breakdown if you're seeking more battles to watch, and of course my Let's Plays as well if you'd like to see some campaign play. But with all that said, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.